Do we have any notable people in our family?
No, notable people in our family. No, not like poet, famous stars or nothing like that. But we do have ministers in our family. I have a great aunt was married to a minister. He had expired and she married another minister. But for as great people, I consider that great in our family.
What about you, Granny?
No, we didn't have any in our family. We just have loving people, Christian. I consider that as notable.
Great people.
Great people.
Like when you were a child.
Oh, when I was a child, is the word say I thought like a child. But life like was when I was a child. It was fun and it was like kids are today. We were a lot of kids and I lived in an area where there were a lot of kids because I came from a big family and most of our neighbors had big family. So we played together and grew up together, had fun. We went to school together and most of us graduated together. But life in itself was fun. It just that was kind of different kind of fun because we worked in the field. That wasn't fun at the time, but as we grew older and left the field, we realized as adults it was a good life.
When I was coming along, we didn't have a lot. We had the bare minimum, but I had good neighbors, and my neighbors could whip me if I did something wrong. It was all right with my mom, and we used to play games together, such as Jack Rock. We used to roll tires up and down the street. We had good fun together, good clean fun.
What are some of your fondest childhood memories?
My fond memories, I had an uncle that worked on the farm, and he drove this tractor, and he would put me on the tractor with him. He taught me how to drive this tractor. It was called a John Deere tractor, like today.
Yeah.
And he taught me how to drive that tractor, and I used to ride in the field with him, driving that tractor.
I think one of my fondest memory was my granddad was a fisherman, and like you go to fishing, you put those big nets out in the water, and you, like I say earlier, they stay out there overnight or a couple of days, and you go back and pull it up. You got fish in it, and he also did what they call a trot line. It's a long line. You go from one side of the river to the other, and it has hooks hanging down on it. And those were usually used for catching catfish. And I know my granddad caught one like that, and I was with him. We were in the boat out in the river there. So after he took the fish off of that hook, he just had him laying there in the boat. So and I kept pleasant with him. He said, "Now you gotta leave that fish alone, cause he'll that fin on top of him. He'll jump up like that and it'll stick you." And I kept messing with it, and sure enough, that thing stuck that fin in my hand and then just pulled it. Just ripped my hand in. And I almost jumped out the boat. My granddaddy, grabbed me. But he told me, I said, "I told you to leave him alone, now you know."
Could you tell me what was segregation like when y'all was kids?
Awful.
Awful.
Awful is the word, if not worse. Because just to give a little kind of essay on it, we really lived in the country, but we would go to town and, white people or walking the street. We have to get off on the sidewalk. They call us anything they thought they want to call us, and we really couldn't say nothing. Because if we did or raised any real sin, they put us in jail. And even though we didn't instigate anything, it was just the way it was. White people were just that prejudiced. But we lived through that. And, those are some things you try to put behind you because you really don't like to remember it. But it lets you know people can be very cruel. And it gives you a sense of Christ-likeness when you grew up, knowing how people treat you, that you not treat other people that way. Because that was not a good feeling, and it was not the right thing to do. But that was just the way it was set up to work.
The same way, I don't think it was any better when I came along. after my husband, because we had certain, if we wanted to go to a restaurant to get a sandwich or something, we had to stand outside and order it. You can go on the inside and get that, get your burger or whatever, And that all the nice stores and stuff that they had was like across the track. That's where the whites were. And we was on the other side of the track, which was only about a few stores. I say a couple of stores that were owned by blacks. And they didn't have the things that in their stores like the white people had in their stores. They just look and they watch you when you go around the store to see if you're gonna take anything. They label us with that, always wanting to take something.
And we went in there, if white people came in behind us, they still waited on the white people first. If they are waiting on us, white folks come in, they'll walk up to us, go wait on them, and then come back to us. But because they had the little merchandise that we needed and we didn't have them across the track, we had to, just kind of wait. And after a while, it it really was a custom. We accepted that because we knew if we wanted merchandise on the white side, that was the way it worked.
Did anyone in our family participate in the civil rights movement?
Because number one, we were in a small town. We were not in a big size city. We were in a small town. Everybody knew everybody. Now, one thing I can say, we never knew any Ku Klux Klan that came out through the field and stuff like that bothered us. Because I guess maybe we were so scattered it wouldn't be to their advantage. But we didn't know that. We didn't actually see that. That's what was going on at that time in our lives, but we were never part of that.
How did y'all meet? And what was it about each other that y'all liked, that y'all loved?
Well, we was raised up together. And my mom knew his mom. Back then they associated and, and I guess if you wasn't the type of person that they wanted you to associate with, they would let you know.
Like I said, we are pretty much known each other all our lives, even before we went to school. So her mother and my mom were good friends. My wife's mother and my mom was good friends. And I remember mom would tell us, because I like coconut cake. And her mom had fixed me a coconut cake for my birthday. And as we grew older, I really got to know her because we grew up together as neighbors. So there again, it's just that have always been really like a close-knit family. And we just kind of stayed like that on through high school. There were some times we were a little awkward, but nevertheless, we never lost really contact with each other.
Tell me about my mom when she was young. What was she like?
She was a good kid. She was very friendly. And she taken to a lot of people that Yolanda wouldn't dare. We would always smile at people when we go places. She gonna give them a grin. And whereas Yolanda might frown at her, Nicki wasn't that type of person. She was a good kid. When she got to be a teenager, she got a little difficult, but she grew out of that.
But she was very friendly. She's very friendly, even as a young lady starting up into maybe say 7th and 8th grade. She's versatile. But sometimes she was a little outspoken. But nevertheless, we had that under control too.
Okay. What do's and don'ts would you give me concerning love and relationship?
Do's and don'ts. Number one, become friends first. Each one should try to get to know each other. Because sometimes when you become personal friends, lovers, if I can put it that way, and you don't really know the person, then sometimes you're going to run into some instances where, I didn't know you were like that. But the thing is, first of all, get to know a person. try to be truthful. And then make sure that this is the person, try to make sure that this is the person that I want to spend some time with. And as time grow and kind of pull you all together, you'll start to ask questions that become very personal. A person that may have a link to your life as you grow older if you decide to get married. And then, but if you don't do these things and you get married, things start happening, you start saying, oh, I didn't know you were like this. I didn't know these are kind of things that interest you. So really try to get to know the person first. And whatever you do, don't become a drunk, a alcoholic. And don't get nobody in your life that is an alcoholic. Because sooner or later, alcohol, I think, will cause you to do a lot of talking. And that's one way of finding out a lot about you. And I can't say this for a fact, because I'm not an alcoholic and I'm not a drinker, but I can say from seeing certain things with people that are married, and later on they become a problem in their lives. So try to stay clear of these, to get some clarity of the person before you become intimate. And like my wife and I, we grew up together, so we've known each other pretty much all our lives. So ain't too much I have to ask her, because I already know.
You know how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any advice, Granny, for love and relationships?
Well, I agree with Papa, but and if you ever get married in a relationship, you say in a relationship, but if you ever decide to get married, you all try to be on the same page. It's a give and take thing.
Yes, indeed.
Compromise. Don't be you don't run the show and don't let her run the show. Y'all work together.
Right.
And I think then that'll make a good relationship in your marriage, and you could go a long time.
Okay. All right. What advice would you give me concerning life?
Okay, concerning life. First of all, I would suggest you try to get a good education. Get into something that you like. Insofar as education, because when you like what you're doing, you will give your all for that to make it better for you. Then when you grow older in life, you start to think about maybe a marriage. Be sure to try to get somebody, number one, is in your age range. Kind of like mine, and even if you may not like the same thing, but your mind is flexible, because with same age, pretty much same age-wise, you're going to think pretty much the same way. Maybe I should say you are going to be able to reason with one another's thought. And I would suggest one of the keys is to get people, as old folks used to say, of your own equal.
That's what it is. Got to. You got any advice for me, Granny?
No, I want you to work a job like you're doing. Continue to work. Don't worry about no fast money. Just work for what you get. And the Lord will bless you with whatever you undertake to do. If you do it the right way, He'll bless you. He'll bless you. Yes.
And that's another one of the keys. Always put God first in your life. And as you grow older, you start to evaluate what I should have done and I didn't do. Then you'll look back and say, well, I should have done this or I should have done that. Then you're starting to grow in Christ, because then you're going to prepare yourself to start thinking, looking at the good and the bad of any situation and what's work best for you. But always keep God first and foremost in your life.
Yeah, too.